All right, faithful, get ready. It's time for another 49ers mock draft, full 7 rounds. We got trades underway. It's time to make the 49ers better. How we 100 picks. Stick around, smash that like button, and let's get to it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezie, host of the Wayne Breezie Show, and welcome to the mock draft edition. It's Mock Draft Monday. I like to give you guys several key references to some players that the 49ers may be interested or may not be interested in. We'll see what happens, but this is how I feel like the 49ers should attack the NFL draft in the 2025 upcoming season. Before we get to that, make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new, click on subscribe, and please don't forget to check out our sponsors over at residency.com. Use that promo code SFBreezie right there, and you can save on your total purchase. Now listen, I don't want to mess around. Let's get right to the mock draft. I got a trade brewing because right now it's about time we get into the Brandon Ayuk trade rumors. The stuff is going to come out. We know April 1st, they have that option where they can pay that $22 million option he's going to get on April 1st if he remains on the team. So the Niners got some interesting things that they have to do. I don't want Brandon Ayuk traded, but if this is the draft where the 49ers feel like they need to get younger, they need to get better, Brandon Ayuk probably won't play for the Niners this season, returning from the ACL, PCL, MCL injuries that he suffered last year. And if there's a team that's willing to pay, let's see what happens. Now, the trade rumors, the teams that are looking to trade right now, I believe the New England Patriots, they're looking for a number 1 wide receiver. And late, we got the Browns. So we'll do this version. We'll try the Patriots. We'll see how this works out. Now, no, I'm not going after their first round pick. All right. Brandon Ayuk is not going to net a first round pick. But right now I have a trade option before the draft actually starts. All right. For Brandon Ayuk, where we're going to give up Brandon Ayuk, both the 2 comp 7th round picks this year. We're going to have to give up a 4th round pick next year. Now, let me know down below in the comment section. I know you guys are going to disagree with this because of that 4th round pick. But what we will gain is 2 third-round picks this year. All right, so we'll get 2 third rounds. So is Brandon Ayuk worth 2 third-rounders, this year? And you know what? If for next year, we can see if they'll kick back us one of their 7th-round picks. How about that? Or a 6th-round pick next year. Now, this is less than a 50% chance of it happening. Less than a 50% chance of it happening. So I'm going to give it a try. We're going to offer the trade and see what happens. And if this goes through, we will begin the draft. It was declined. All right. So I can tell you me asking probably for that 6th round pick next year. So let's go after one of the 7ths. Let's just see what happens. We got a couple of more attempts. And I tell you what, we got 4 more attempts. And I want to see how we can address the Niners and make the Niners a better team in the future if Brandon Ayuk is traded. So that's kind of the key. All right, so the trade has been accepted. They didn't want to give up a 6th, but we were able to get an extra 7th for next year. We had to give up a 4th, so we swapped picks 4 for 7 next year. But with Brandon Ayuk, we're moving on from money, and we're also gaining 2 third-round picks. So 2 extra picks in the top 100. I give that a round of applause. We do know that Brandon Ayuk was a first-round pick for the San Francisco 49ers. He got paid by the San Francisco 49ers, at least the contract negotiated. But if there are teams out there willing to trade for Brandon Ayuk, let's go ahead and get it done. Now, I don't know about trading anymore right now. I don't feel like the Niners are going to end up with more than 11 or 12 picks in this draft. So let me be clear. Right now, I feel like we're currently at 12. And we're going to see how the draft board falls. No, I didn't trade up to move up. Yes, we need to address the offensive line. Yes, we need to address the defensive line. Yes, we need to address the linebacker position. Yes, we need to address several positions. But let's stick to what they feel like our team needs are. All right. Now, off the board, right off the back, we got the top players gone. Both quarterbacks are gone. As I project, they will be gone. Travis Hunter goes to New York. All right. Abdul Carter to the Patriots. Mason Graham to the Jags. Armand Membu, my number 1 tackle, to the Raiders. That's a curveball. Will Campbell, number 2 tackle, to the Jets. All right. Could see that happening. Shoring up the offensive line. Aston Jeanty to the Carolina Panthers. I didn't see that happening. I feel like they have running backs. Then, maybe they're not sold on Jonathan Brooks he's not going to be playing this year, so we'll see what happens. Jihad Campbell to the Saints, all right? So now you're starting to see some of our players that, we're used to seeing their names come off the board, all right? And then Ted McMillan going to the Bears. Don't know if they'll draft another wide receiver. They feel like they are losing Keenan Allen, so maybe they do go wide receiver there, so that would be interesting. But I feel like they got Roma Dunze. I know they're kind of different, but they're both bigger wide receivers. But we'll see what happens. All right, anyway, the Niners are on the clock now. I do not expect the Niners to draft a tight end this early, but I do see them kind of going corner. All right, kind of going corner, kind of going safety. Now, I know we need to address the defensive line, but let's go ahead and check and see what we can get. All right, now, I said that I was done trading. Brandon Ayuk is gone. So we do need the big X wide receiver. It is a need. It doesn't say that it's a need right here, but we definitely need an X receiver, in my opinion. And who will replace Brandon Ayuk? Can Ricky Pearsall take over that role? We shall see. But let's see what the Dolphins like. The Dolphins might want to swap picks. Now, I'm for this if we can get back, another top 100 pick, right? And so, I know I said I didn't want more than picks, but look, if I can get, my motto this year has been getting top 100 picks. It's probably gonna be my motto moving forward, being that this is a draft where the 49ers definitely need to address, and it's only moving 2 spots back, and my top tackles, my top tackles, my top linebacker, my top interior, my top edge rusher, they're gone. Now, I don't think that between the Cowboys and the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins are going to move up to probably draft maybe, edge rusher, maybe they should be drafting offensive line here. Dallas may take Mike Green. So let's see what happens. The Dolphins could use some secondary help. The Cowboys could use secondary help. Jahdae Barron is on the board. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and take this trade. All right, so the trade's been accepted. We swap picks with the Dolphins. All right. But we gained an extra pick in the 3rd round. So we are loaded with 3rd round picks, and we can move up possibly and trade some of these 3rd round picks to get a higher pick in round 2. All right, a higher pick in round 2. All right, so that's just something to keep on the board. Let's resume the draft. Let's see kind of where they go. So they went Tyler Warren, and then Dallas went Shamar Stewart. Look, I don't want to make this like a thing. The Niners, they could trade for Bryce Huff. They haven't traded for Bryce Huff, which means defensive end is still a need. You see, we picked 13, 38, and 43. I'm probably going to try to move 77, 98, or 100 and try to move back up into the 2nd round again. I don't want that many picks. But why not go after Mike Green? Luther Burden, I've started to hear some stories on him. I feel like we need a number 1 wide receiver. I'm not going to go that right now. But I'm starting to hear some stories on him about him just being a weird vibe in camp. James Pierce has the stories too. I love me some Donovan Ezeraku here. People would probably, excuse me. People probably have issues with Donovan Ezeraku, and I promise, I get 9. How many minutes we get to make this 1st round pick? 7 minutes. So let me just take my time and let me just explain. I have Mike Green as my number 2 edge rusher. I think James Pierce would be my number 3. So they're both here. Jahdae Barron is like my number 2 or 3 corner. Why not go with the guy that is the next version of what Jimmy Ward is? He can play safety. He can play linebacker. He can play cornerback. He can play nickel. He can play all over the football field. I don't see why we would pass up on a corner like that, being that the draft isn't fully loaded with a top-tier corners. The speed is there. The coverage skills are there. why pass up on a guy that can cover? He can play man coverage. He's great in zone coverage. Niners love to run a lot of quarters defense, zone defense, where they're playing a particular part of the field, and give him 25% of the field. You call it a day. I personally don't see anything wrong with this. I do like 10 force and completions, 11 coverage stops. He does have a couple of missed tackles, but he's almost 6 feet. He's the Jimmy Ward of this draft, and Jimmy Ward coming out of the draft was on point. So let's not act like he was bad. But the thing you get from him is versatility, and if you really love Diamador Lenore on the outside, and you really love Ronaldo Green on the outside, even though Lenore has the ability to play inside, you can start him off on the inside. He doesn't have to learn how to play nickel. He can play nickel, and he can play outside. I think my pick is in. I know a lot of people aren't going to like the cornerback position here, but it's Jahdae Barron, best player coming out of Texas this year, and he's off the clock, all right? He's off the clock. Now, I did talk about possibly moving back up, and so I'm going to wait till I get to my second round pick. I get a pick 38 because we made a trade. So bear with me, and we're definitely going to look to address the offensive line here. And here's the cool thing about moving up in the draft, and I know I didn't go defensive line here, whatever, and that's okay. That's okay. That's quite all right. But the key to me is, when you move up, you get better players that may fall to you. I don't want to say the better options, but better players that may fall to you. Now, I do want to we pick 38 and 43. So I'm not going to look to make a trade here. But I do want to shore up. There's a couple of positions I want to shore up here. All right. I do want to address the trenches. And so, offensive line right now, the best offensive line man on the board is Gray Zabel, like hands down. So I'm gonna rush that pick in. All right. When I get to pick 43, though, I really do like defensive tackle Tyleik Williams. A lot of people aren't talking about him. I don't know if he's gonna be available for me at 43, and that's where it gets tricky. I can go Norman Lott, but that might be a reach. But Tyleik Williams is there, and so I can possibly try to move up to get Tyleik, or move back to get Tyleik. I don't know. But right now, my pick is in, and it's going to be Gray Zabel, offensive tackle / offensive guard / center. If you want to address the offensive line, this is the guy that could do it all. And he did it all at a high level at the Senior Bowl. And just looking at what he did, his run blocking grade is 86.4. So he fits the zone scheme as well as gap pass blocking grade. He's a great pass protector. Look at that. He only gave up 1 sack on what was it? 453 pass block snaps, so 1 sack out of that. And you can see, man, he's played all over the offensive line, and I think he would be a surefire pick for the 49ers. That's what moving up gets you. Tyleik Williams came right off the board. All right, I like this draft because the Jets went up and got them a quarterback in Jackson Dart. I like seeing Jackson Dart going in round 2. It's about time. It's about time that they get it right. All right, we're on the board. We got several positions we need to fill. So we've addressed the cornerback position. We've addressed, and I'm going to get a lot of flack for corner, but we've addressed the trenches. So we got an offensive lineman. We got a guy that can play all over the offensive line. The question is, where do the Niners need to go next? And it's got to be interior here. Again, not really trying to trade back to get more picks, but I do see the value of trading back. We possibly can take 49, give them 43. I'm not into the trading back anymore. I do like the linebacker that's on the board that's right there in front of us at 43. We don't trade again. We don't draft again till 75. So the question is, can I get my interior guy on the defensive front at pick 75? That's the question. Can I get a Shamar Turner? Can I get a Omar Norman Lott? Now, I like Shamar Turner. I love CJ West. I love Omar Norman Lott. Alfred Collins would be a big run stuffer up the middle. I see Vernon Broughton up here as well. Joshua Farmer, big defensive tackle up the middle. So there's going to be value at 75 and 77, which I pick back to back. Let's see if we can kind of trade up. let's pick the line. Ooh. Let me check the wide receivers, because the wide receivers do go. I feel like there's still some linebackers. There's still other linebackers that I do like in this draft. Now, Jack Beck to me is one of the best wide receivers out here. He can catch anything. He runs routes really well. He finds ways to find holes open in the zone. I want to be different this year, though. I want the 49ers to go after a wide receiver with size and speed, 4.4 speed, 6'3 height, Jaden Higgins. Now, we can go Xavier Restrepo, great route runner, will be a killer in the slot, not just a slot wide receiver, but I feel like we kind of got him with Ricky Pearsall. Like, I feel like we have that guy. You know, if I said I want to get us an X, I can wait on wide receiver here, because the X guy is got to be between Higgins and Trey Harris. Those are two guys I feel like that can come in and play the X. But you can move Higgins around as a wide receiver. You can line him up in the slot. I think my pick is in. This might be a reach for a wide receiver right here. I didn't go Jack Beck. I wanted to go with a bigger body guy. Iowa State, Jaden Higgins. Damn, my running back went right after to the Cowboys. The Cowboys be on it. They be on it. I ain't even gonna hold you. All right, so I talked about possibly moving up, and I wanted to see if there was a run on the defensive tackles. And so right now, I don't pick for another 13 spots, right? Getting into that round 3. Can we get out of round 2 without those tackles being taken? I talked about several of those tackles being taken. Right now, I don't see them coming off the board. All right. Defensive tackles, that is. So I'm going to let the draft resume, and I'm going to keep my eye on it. All right. Demetrius. So Norman Lott went. All right. Norman Lott went. Kyle Kennard went. And I pick in a couple of, I pick in about 8 spots, right? 8 or 9 spots. I don't feel like Cleveland's going to take a defensive tackle, but the Raiders may take a defensive tackle. The Raiders went in round 2. Just to got to do a quick recap. They went with the defense, so they don't need another defensive tackle. So the Raiders got them a defensive tackle, so I could kind of let them rock. The Patriots don't need an interior. So I can let this rock. I can let it rock. And the Raiders did. So I wasn't expecting the Raiders to take double defensive tackles. I was hoping at this point I'm just gonna let it resume and see what happens. All right, so we're on the board. Shamar Turner is there for me. I told you I liked him. Not my favorite defensive interior guy, but I think he would be a solid pick for the 49ers. We'll look at him. Vernon, no, this kid right here is, I don't know why he's not trending upwards. And a lot of people aren't talking about this kid. You can see 6'4", 305. Okay. I do like what I see from him. Look at him, man. Pass rush win rate, 13%. Run stop rate, 7.6%. That's pretty high. He has a pretty good run defensive grade. He's a pass rushing guy, 4 sacks on the season. You can line him up in an A gap, B gap. I kind of like him. Let's just take a look between him and Shamar Turner. All right. Now, I understand Shamar Turner's grades are a lot lower. But for me, he could be solid for the Niners. I don't mind the Niners taking a couple of interior guys, but I really do like Vernon Broughton, or Brofton, however you say his name, from Texas. Let's go ahead and rush this pick in. The Cowboys, man, they are on it. All right, so with the guys available, the Niners need a linebacker here. Did we go linebacker already? We did not. And I'm struggling because I want the linebacker. I also want the tight end. I want to double up. I want an edge rusher. I still feel like I can get me an edge rusher. I like Jonas Savanea. There's so many wide receiver. We have not addressed. Oh, we did. We got Jaden Higgins. So we got the wide receiver. So I'm set on the wide receiver. We can go safety. We can go running back. I like this. I like the prospects that are available. Stick with me. Bear with me. We'll get through this as quickly as possible. It's Chris Paul for me, inside linebacker from Ole Miss. The pick is in. You already know what he can do out there. He's good in coverage. He's great against the run. He can get to the quarterback. What more can you ask for from a guy? I know he ran a little slower as a linebacker. Didn't really like his speed or whatever. Not a big missed tackle rate. It's only 4.5%. Like, this guy makes tackles. See, 73 tackles, 12 assisted, only 4 missed tackles. Give him to me, baby. Let's draft Chris Poo Paul, and then we got ourselves a linebacker. All right, we pick again at 98. 98 is where we pick again. And let's see what falls to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit, so bear with me. I feel like I'm done trading. We're at 98. All right, so we're at 98, and you know I love me some Andrew Makuba. I know people don't want the 49ers to draft, and we're at a spot where we pick 98 and then 100. So we have an opportunity to get 1, 2, 3 top 100 picks. Well, right now, as far as our choices. And I have Bakuba in my top 100, Devin Neal in my top 100. I do not have Charles Grant in my top 100, but I have David Walker in my top 100. I have 2 picks to finish this out. I need to get these 2 picks right. I don't have a running back. I don't have an edge rusher. I did draft an offensive lineman. So we got Gray's able. But I do want to double up there. I don't mind it. I do need a running back. And I feel like if I go running back here, I just need to see who's available. I like Neal. I love Neal. Damian Martinez is good. Jadon Blue is a sleeper. Bichelle Tootin is probably a fan favorite for the 49ers. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt would be an excellent draft choice. I could wait on running back, right? I love Devin Neal, though. So for me, I'm going to go edge rusher here. I want to secure the edge rushing position. I feel like if I don't pick him, the Giants will snatch him up. I don't feel like they're going to go running back. They may go tackle, which is good, and they don't need a safety. So the pick is David Walker. And I get it. And they went quarterback. Good. They went quarterback. So now I can go ahead and sew this up. I can get my running back in round 4, and I can get my safety. That's right. I will grab this safety. You get another version of Malik Mustafa and Andrew Makuba. So, yeah, I'm living on the edge, man. We got 3 Texas players, 3 Texas Longhorn players in this draft. I know people are probably pissed off at me, but, hey, trust me on this. You will not be disappointed. Now it's time to give Brock Purdy some weapons. We already gave him Jaden Higgins. High productive wide receiver, can jump through the roof. Let's give him a tight end that can do just about anything out there on the football field. All right, so Harold Fannin Jr., you can line him up in the backfield. Cool, whatever. Now it's time to get gritty. We are entering, round 4. We're closing up round 4 with our last comp pick at pick 138, and the Niners definitely need to add some, I don't feel like we need to go with the double up positions unless the best player was available at this point. But for the Niners, let's go back. We addressed the corner. We got an offensive lineman. We got Jaden Higgins, wide receiver. We got an interior guy, Vernon Broughton. We got a linebacker. We got an edge. We got a safety. We got a tight end. All right, we're not going quarterback here. Okay, we got the linebacker. I feel like we got the linebacker that we need. I don't see him doubling up as linebacker. As far as tackle, we could double up, get a Chase Lunt. But I feel like Brashard Smith is screaming to me, San Francisco 49er. I know he doesn't have the elusiveness or whatever, and the yards after contact doesn't really do it for me, and I feel like that's a big thing for the Niners. But the production is there. He had just 5.7 yards per carry. The production is there. You can see he's a good receiver back out of the backfield. He has 21 plays, 15 yards or more. He gets 775 of his 1,326 yards were after contact, which is weird to me that he's only averaging 3.4. That number is good. That number is great. Honestly, I just want it to be higher. You know what I mean? Now, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt played in 1 game, so obviously the elusive rate is going to be high. Yards after the contact is low, but it's only 1 game worth. Is he worth that pick? That's a question that you're gonna ask yourself. Is he worth that pick? Love Jarquez Hunter. You want to get a guy with that averages yards after contact. I mean, there it is, 4.1 yards after contact, 1,000 yard rusher, very balanced. Only 2 drops. Not as utilized much in the backfield, but he could be a solid pick. But I think I'm gonna go here. I wouldn't mind if the Niners. We got the safety. We need to get gangster up front for sure. What I mean by that is we need to get gritty up front. I think I can wait to the 5th round to start getting these extra offensive linemen. The pick is in. Brashard Smith out of SMU, running back. Yep, I went 4th round running back here, so please don't be mad, faithful. I know you're going to get me in the comment section. I already know it's coming. So we've addressed all the positions I feel like that need to be addressed. Now it's time to start adding some depth here, and we're looking for great depth. All right. Now he got taken. You've got to be kidding me. Where did he go? Ain't no way he went. Willie Lampkin. Where'd he go? I don't see him. All right, let me just double up. Let me go to offensive lineman. Because I do want to add, there he is. All right, Luke Condra's there. So we're in round 5. We have 2 5th-round picks. We no longer have a 6th-round pick, and we gave away 2 of our 7th. So we're almost done here. Luke Condra, we can go guard out of Cincinnati. Love this kid. Pass blocking grade is good. He's really good in the run blocking grade too, the zone grade. I wouldn't mind grabbing him. You can see he plays right guard. I know that's where Dominic Puni plays, but he also played on the left side as well. So there's a possibility that you can move him over. And if I was to go with anybody, I would go guard with him because I feel like if I needed a center, I could use Zabel. If I needed him to be a tackle, I could use him as a tackle. But I like the Luke Condra pick right here. And it's the second time I'm mock drafting him, which means he's starting to really be on my radar. Like, really be on my radar. All right, last pick in round 5. And we kind of like to nail these picks. And I said, let's go depth here. And so we went depth on the offensive line. Now it's time to go depth on the defensive line. And it's kind of try to see, like, who is best available on the defensive front, right? And I'm looking for space eaters, right? Like I'm looking for the 306, 300 and plus pounds. Like I actually want to go heavier than that. You know what I mean? Give me a guy that is just solid against the run. And nobody's talking about this kid, Cameron Jackson. And I get it, man. I probably could get him in round 6. Round 7, possibly. But for the 49ers, look, man, you got a pass rushing guy up front. Earlier, you addressed it, on the interior. You got the Vernon Broughton. He can get to the quarterback. But let's bring in the big space eater, the big run stuffer. I really liked what I saw from Cameron Jackson at the Senior Bowl. And you can see, look, he's not going to be able to get to the passer. He doesn't have the speed to, but he does stop the run. And I think stopping the run for the 49ers is an important thing to do. So you guys let me know. I like Cameron Jackson. He's the pick for me in round 5. It's a little bit of a reach. We probably could have traded back and got an extra pick in round 7 or round 6 or whatever. Cool. But I really do feel like Cameron Jackson is a big run stuffer that the Niners can use up the middle. Not a name you guys are so familiar with, but trust me, loved what I saw at the Senior Bowl. It was between him and Deion Walker out of Kentucky, the 2 twin towers up there, and he surpassed them. In my opinion, he was better against the run, and I felt like he had some good pass rushing attempts as well. So we'll see what happens. All right, we're on the board. I don't feel like the Niners are going to draft a quarterback, but Tyler Shugg is the guy that I like to draft to the 49ers. So let's go ahead and have some more fun with this. I do want to double up at the edge rushing position. I don't know what people don't see in Fidel Diggs. I understand. This could be the second time I'm mocking him because he's available. I feel like I got the safety that I need. I do love Malachi Moore. Love Craig Wilson. These would be steals to me in the 7th round. But I see Fidel Diggs there, and I didn't go with – I went with Walker earlier. So you get your pass rushing guy. But this is a guy with super speed to me out there on the edge. So the pick is in, and in the 7th round, I'm going Fidel Diggs to the San Francisco 49ers, and that is mock draft 12.0. And in the comment section, I'm all for comments. And, you know, if you bark at me, don't be afraid if I bark back. I'm going to explain to you probably why I chose these guys. So feel free to leave your comments. It's all love out here, right? All love. Now, they felt I should have went with Jack Beck over Jaden Higgins. I loved what I saw from Jack Beck at the Senior Bowl. Don't get it twisted. Y'all know Jalen Noel, though, is my favorite of the two. But I'm saying to myself, man, Brock really does love those taller receivers. Look what he's done with Jawan Jennings. You bring a 6'3", 6'4" kid in here with speed, with 4.4 speed, not 4.6 speed. I'm just saying. So that's kind of like why I went that route. Now, for those that are just watching, we did trade Brandon Ayuk. So for those that don't remember, we traded Brandon Ayuk. All right. So Brandon Ayuk was traded right here with the New England Patriots. We got their 2nd round pick, their 3rd round pick, and a future 7th. We gave up Ayuk, 2 7ths, and a future 4th in 2026. All right. So those were our picks. So we got Jahdae Barron was our first pick off the board at pick 13, because we also moved back with Miami and gained an extra 3rd round pick 98. So I told you there's going to be some trades, all right? Gray Zabel was the tackle. Jaden Higgins, Vernon Broughton, Chris Paul, David Walker, Andrew Makuba, Harold Fannin. All right, so we gave Brock some weapons. They didn't like the Brashard Smith. He only got a C+, cool, no problem. Luke Condra gave us a B+. Cameron Jackson gave us an F because he's projected, it was a 210th guy, and we got him in round 5. So I get it. Overall, they gave us an A-, man. I think this was a successful draft, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think out there. Don't forget to hit that like button for sure, man. Please do so. And subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching. I do appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to check out, man, myself and what I'm trying to do here on the channel. This is a 49ers mock draft. Stay tuned for other mock drafts all week long. All right. And I truly appreciate everybody, man. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it faithful to the Bay, everybody, and we out. Peace. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.